Hey y'all, so I just did a video on the minor 7 flat 5 chord, and music theory wise it's a little dense. It's going to make a lot more sense when you get into your fingers than it will talking about it or trying to understand it. But it occurs to me, it's baseball season, and I absolutely love baseball. I mean, it's my favorite sport. And as I was getting ready to fall asleep the other night, it hit me. A great analogy for playing arpeggios is baseball. If you think about it, when you play baseball, you walk up to home plate. You're then trying to get around 3 bases and come back home. Well, that's what an arpeggio is. There are 4 notes in most chords. Some chords have 3 notes, okay, so we're going to skip a base, but that would be C, E, G, C. You just got back home, right? That's the first note of the scale, scale C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and that's C, E, G. Now, we're going to add one more note, which would be third base, and that's the 7th note of the scale, because once you're there, you're almost home, right? You just play those over and over, and you're some of the best practice you can do. Whoops. C, E, G, B, C. Back to C. Those are the notes of a major 7 chord. Now we can vary those up a little bit. Of course, we could play a minor 7 chord. And all we did was we flatted the E and we flatted the B. But the bottom line is, if you know where your 4 bases are, your home, 3 bases and home plate. Let's just look at it that way. If you know where home is, you're never going to get lost on the fretboard. If you know where if you know where the 3rd note is and the 5th note and the 7th note, or in our analogy, if you know where 1st, 2nd, and 3rd base are, you can always come back to them, or you can go to the next one. And if you land on one of those bases, it's always going to sound good to the ear. You can do all kinds of stuff in between the bases. You can get there any way you want. You can bunt, you can hit a home run if you want to. If you know where those bases are and you're sure to touch those bases, everything's going to come together just fine. We've been playing this key of C. Let me see if I can do something in G. I think I am still in C, actually. I am. And I'm not sure that song is supposed to be played in the key of C, but hey, it worked. But I played a lot of notes. I kept starting and ending on C. That's a little bit of Tuxedo Junction, which I think is actually supposed to be in the key of C. I have a G. Yeah. I think I went back to C, but you see what I'm saying, I'm just improvising, coming up with stuff off the top of my head. I can't remember which song is in what key. Let me see if I can do something just really wild. Let's see. All right, totally fooling around. That would be probably an A. And you see, I noticed, you may have noticed, I started in A and I ended in A. And even though I was just all over the place up here, not even knowing where I was going, I came back to home plate. So I hope that makes sense to you. When we get more into arpeggios, you'll learn how to arpeggiate any chord. Just remember, whatever you do in between those notes doesn't matter at all. It's where you start. Did you hit first base, second base, third base? Did you come back home? And as I said, you can hit a double. You can go from home to second. You can go from home to third if you hit a triple. You can run back if somebody was going to catch you stealing. I don't know. I'm probably stretching the analogy now, but when you think about it, it's actually super, super easy. And that's how you never get lost on the fretboard, even if you're just fooling around without a tune in your head, like I just was. I was just making that up as I went. May have been a little bit like Black Magic Woman, come to think of it, but probably not. By the way, if you want to hear the best version of that song, I know Santana's is the classic. The guy who wrote it was Peter Green. Phenomenal blues player before the drugs messed him up. And back when Peter Green played with Fleetwood Mac, it was a much better band. If you think you like Fleetwood Mac now, go back and listen to the Peter Green years. That's when they were brilliant. Everything past that, in my opinion, just really was not up to snuff. But he actually wrote Black Magic Woman. And he and, Syd Barrett, Skip Spence, Rocky Erickson, they were casualties of the drug era who were brilliant musicians. And Peter Green played with John Mayall before he went with Fleetwood Mac. So I highly recommend listening to some early Peter Green and Mike Bloomfield. Mike Bloomfield was probably the greatest guitar player of his generation. And, the heroin took him. And, wow. I mean, arguably, he was as good or better than Eric Clapton. And it's like nobody's heard of Mike Bloomfield now. Go listen to some Mike Bloomfield. But remember the basic lesson of this. Find the basses. Yeah, I've just played a major 7 chord, a minor 7 chord. Well, I think I started with the dominant. C, E, G, B, C. C, E flat, G, B, C, C, E flat, B flat, C. So in these chords, the basses may move one fret one way or the other, but you're never going to get lost. You're always going to be able to come back to home base. And that's, I guess, the one thing that does move it away from the baseball analogy. You're not going to get thrown out. You're not going to get picked off or anything, and you're not going to pop out if you can always find your bases and get back to them. And you don't have to worry about the guy coming up behind you either. So have a good one, y'all. Remember, you can email me, judsoncarroll.com. Please share my videos, subscribe, help me grow the channel. Always appreciate it. And I'll talk to you next time.